This movie tells a story of Eddie and Venom, who are on the run and face pursuit from both worlds. As circumstances tighten, they're compelled to make a heart-wrenching choice that could mark the end of their symbiotic partnership. It's hard to deny the sheer commitment that Tom Hardy gives his all in his unhinged dual performance playing Eddie and Venom. However, this movie is worse than its predecessors, as it feels rushed, clumsy, and lackluster. The movie is an uncoordinated mess of scenes that seems to have been lazily slapped together. The movie is largely lacking in plot, as it doesn't really have a significant story. Actually, a lot of things happen in this movie, but it's just bouncing from an action set piece to a comedy bit, and back again. All of the plot is presented in rather bland and dour fashion. It's even using clumsy news report for exposition. The silliness that was decent in the last movie is almost entirely absent here. There are a few moments of goofy life, but these are over so quickly, they barely register. The movie doesn't have any single memorable character, despite introducing at least a handful of new ones. Tom Hardy does his best, and yet, he and the rest of the cast can't save a film so utterly disinterested in its characters, not even its leads. The movie has talented actors in supporting roles, but they're all curiously lacking here. The movie makes no effort to wring out even an iota of drama from its tedious plot. Instead, it's a collection of loud bangs, dated needle drops that other films have done better, and the general stench that everyone involved is done with this franchise. The story basically involves a MacGuffin called the Codex, which unlocks the prison holding Null, and the only way to destroy the Codex is for either Venom or Brock to die. The movie doesn't really explain why can't they do what they did in the last film where they died and got better. For 2 hours, Venom and Eddie go from one uninteresting and poorly edited set piece to another. At times, they narrate the missing pieces of the plot directly to the audience, almost like the entire sequences rely on awkward dubbing to make sense. Even then, it's a chore to watch. This film contains at least 3 antagonists. All of these characters are ill-defined, lacking in compelling motivations, and generally uninteresting. This movie lacks appropriate villain. Without a core villain for Eddie or Venom to bounce off, this movie feels aimless. For a movie revolving around Eddie and Venom on the run, you expect the stakes should be a lot higher in this movie, and yet, the action set pieces could only muster some half-baked excitement. By the time the movie culminates in a typical CG-heavy finale battling against the Xenophage, the viewers might have already checked out. What should have been action scenes evoking palpable tension with both dramatic and emotional stakes end up disappointingly hollow. The movie's overall attempt to give room for other supporting actors to shine is nothing more than a perfunctory addition that doesn't help much to make the viewers feel invested in the characters. The movie lacks the much-needed storytelling hook to justify its existence, even with the movie teasing Null's appearance barely registers. Null has virtually no real impact here, spending his scant scenes sitting around with his long hair hanging down in his face. The action is very generic, and a big climactic fight scene is surely intended to awe, but it does anything but. The end result feels less like a finished film and more like a rough cut that never got around to being finessed. Overall, it's not worth to watch this in theaters, just wait on your streaming service.